Hello students, I am back to take up Julius Caesar Act 1 Scene 1. Before taking up Act 1 Scene 1, I would like to introduce myself especially to the new students. I am Veena Talwar, your English teacher. So I had uploaded a few videos which you can see if you have not seen later. Okay, so today we are going to start with Julius Caesar. Before taking up Julius Caesar, Act 1, Scene 1, I wish to give a background of the political conditions of Rome during the play. There were civil wars in the Roman Empire. The Romans, dissatisfied with the republican government, wished to hand over the full power to an individual. They were not aware that in doing so, they were surrendering their own freedom. The Romans were divided into two classes, the aristocrats and the plebeians. The latter were fickle-minded and violent. They could be cajoled by the tricks of rhetoric. The aristocrats were no better. They abused one another in the Senate. They always appeared in public with bodyguards. They were governed by envy and ambition. Clearly, the stage is now set for Caesarism, that is, Caesar. Caesar was the man of the hour. Roman imperialism, which began under Julius Caesar, assumes definite form in the absolute military monarchy of his nephew Octavius. Now, coming to the first scene, Act 1, Scene 1. So, here in this scene, this is the opening scene, and that is a masterpiece. In fact, all the opening scenes of Shakespeare's plays are masterpieces. In this scene, we shall see Caesar and the jealousy of the tribunes. Uh, the fickle mob plays major role in the play. The scene opens in the street of Rome. The workmen are rejoicing in Caesar's triumph over the sons of his old rival Pompey. The tribunes rebuke them and order them to return to their work. They drive the crowd off the streets and set about removing all the street decorations so that Caesar's procession will sent or will be look like a failure. Okay, now this is scene 1, Rome. This scene is set in the streets of Rome, and we see the tribunes. One of them is Flavius. Hence home, you idle creatures, get you home. Here Flavius, the tribune, is asking the plebeians or the mob or the mechanical or the labor class people to get away from here. Is this a holiday? So because they are celebrating Caesar's triumph, they are not in their uniform, the workers' uniform. Rather, they are celebrating it um, in a very gorgeous manner. They are wearing their um, holiday clothes, and they are in the street instead of being in their shops or in their workshops. So Flavius asked, is this a holiday? What know you not? What don't you know? Being mechanical, being manual workers, you ought not walk. You should not walk upon a laboring day. upon a working day without the sign of your profession. Sign of your profession, it means the working clothes and the tools. Speak, what trade art thou? Flavius asks one of the citizens. What trade? What is your occupation? So, first commoner answer, why, sir, a carpenter? Then Marullus, the other tribune, says, where is thy leather apron and thy rule? He also asks the same question the Flavius had asked about sign of your profession, and he words it in a different way. He says, um, where is thy rule? The right rule is the foot rule used by a carpenter, because carpenter measures woods and cuts it according to the thing that is required to be made of wood. So he asks, where is your rule, that is ruler? What dost thou with thy best apparel on? What are you doing with your best clothes on? You, sir, what trade are you? Then he asks the second citizen, what trade I, do you have? Then second citizen or second commoner says, truly, sir, in respect of a fine workman, I am but, as you would say, a cobbler. So he says, truly speaking, in respect of a fine workman, that is, in comparison with a workman, with others, I am but, that is, I am merely a mender of shoes, a cobbler. Marullus. But what trade art thou? Answer me directly. But to you answer me directly, what is your trade? What is your occupation? Second commoner or second citizen, a trade, sir, that I hope I may use with a safe conscience, which is indeed, sir, a mender of bad souls. So he says, yes, speaking about the trade, I would say that I carry on my trade with a safe conscience, with a perfect conscience, that is very honestly, and that is indeed, sir, a mender of bad souls. Now here souls, there is a pun on this word souls. There are two meanings. The first meaning is, of course, very clear. That is because he is a shoemaker, a cobbler. So he refers to the soles of shoes. And the second meaning of the souls is, of course, the different spelling, S-O-U-L-S, souls, that is human souls. Marullus, what trade thou name? Now, Marullus gets little irritated because he is not answering his question, what trade he had asked him earlier also. So that is why he calls him, you naughty knave, that is naughty knave. Naughty means good for nothing. Knave is rogue. You good for nothing rogue. What trade? Come on, tell me, what is your trade? Second citizen says, nay, I beseech you, I request you, sir, be not out with me. Don't be angry with me. Yet, if you be out, sir, I can mend you. And if, now again, he's playing on the words that if you be out, that is, if you go out and wear your, that is, your shoes get worn out, then I can mend those shoes. But what he's saying, instead of saying I can mend your shoes, he's saying I can mend you. So this is disrespectful, isn't it? Then Marullus says, what meanest thou by that? What do you mean by that? Mend me? That is, you are going to mend me, thou saucy fellow? You disrespectful fellow. And then commoner says, why, sir, cobble you. And then he says, mend your shoes. Flavius then asks him, thou art a cobbler, art thou? So Flavius asks him, you are a cobbler, aren't you? Then second citizen or second commoner says, truly, sir, all that I live by is with the awl. You know what is an awl? Awl is a tool for making holes in leather. Again, there is a pun on this word awl. One is that tool, and the other is all. The spelling is A-double-L, all. So he says, truly, sir, all that I live by is with the all. I meddle with no tradesman's matters. So I live by with the all. That is, I work on my tools and I don't interfere with any other tradesman's matters, nor women's matters. Now, this second commoner or second citizen is very light-hearted. And of course, one of the reasons is that they are rejoicing Caesar's triumph and they are in that mood, rejoicing mood. And he says that I don't meddle with any man's tradesman's matters, nor women's matters, nor any women. But withal I am. But I work with all. Now with all again that has AWL also indirect meaning. I work with all. That is all with all. That is but in all I am indeed, sir, a surgeon to old shoes. I am a surgeon. Now what does a surgeon do? A surgeon operates upon a person and cures him of ailment. Similarly, this carpenter, the second citizen, he operates the shoes, he mends the shoes and repairs them. When they are in great danger, that is, when they are uh, damaged, I recover them. I recover the shoes of their damage, as proper men as ever trod upon neat's leather have gone upon my handiwork. So, as proper men means gentlemen, as gentlemen who have walked, trod means walked, who have walked upon my handiwork. That is, all gentlemen wear the shoes that I make. Flavius. But wherefore art not in thy shop today? But why are you not in your shop today? Why dost thou lead these men about the streets? Why are you leading all these men here about in the streets instead of being in the shop? Why are you taking all this? So he is sort of a leader sort of person and he is leading the others. Second commoner, truly, sir, to wear out their shoes. Now, a typical answer he is giving, as you know, he is in a very light-hearted mood. He says, truly, sir, to wear out their shoes. That is meaning to say that if they go out and walk about, then their shoes will get worn out. And how is it going to benefit him? To get myself into more work. So I will be getting more work. But indeed, sir, but truly speaking, sir, we make holiday. We have made this a day a holiday to see Caesar and to rejoice in his triumph. Caesar, who is coming back after his victory over the sons of Pompey, we are waiting for him and to rejoice in his triumph. Marulus. Wherefore rejoice? Why are you rejoicing? What conquest brings he home? So, what conquest has he brought back home? Now, he has not conquered any other country or any other soldiers of a different country, because that is a civil war. He has defeated the sons of Pompey and they belong to Rome. So that is why Marullus says, what conquest brings he home? What tributaries follow him to Rome? Tributaries are like, when the prisoners of war are taken, they would be released by the defeated party only after paying some taxes to their conquerors. So this the meaning of tributaries. So what tributaries follow him to Rome? To grace in captive bonds his chariot wheels. That is, to grace in captive bonds, that is, with chains to the chariot of the conqueror to pay respect to him. So there, those prisoners of war, they used to be tied to the uh, with chains to the chariots of the conqueror, and then when the chariot would go in full speed, these prisoners of wars would be dragged. You blocks, you stones, you worse than senseless things. So he's so irritated, he calls them all these uh, disrespectful words. You blocks, that is, you heartless persons. You stones, you unfeeling men. You worse than senseless things. You are worse than even senseless things. That is, you are incapable of any feeling. Oh, you hard hearts, you cruel men of Rome. Knew you not Pompey? He calls them cruel. And then he asks them, did you not know Pompey? Many a time and oft have you climbed up to walls and battlements, to towers and windows, ye to chimney tops, your infants in your arms. Many times you have climbed up the walls and battlements, that is the parapets on a castle roof. You have climbed up the towers and the windows, even to the chimney tops, holding your infants, holding your children in your arms, and then have sat the livelong day, and then you have sat there the whole day, the whole all day long with patient expectations. Yeah, you have sat there patiently expecting the sight of Pompeii, to see great Pompey pass the streets of Rome. You have been waiting patiently there only to get a glimpse of Pompey when he passes the streets of Rome. And when you saw his chariot but appear, have you not made a universal shout? So when you caught sight of his chariot, did you not shout a universal shout, that is all together? That Tiber, now Tiber can be pronounced as Tiber. Some um, this pronunciation is Tiber or Tiber. I pronounce it as Tiber. That Tiber trembled. That is, you shouted so much that the river Tiber started trembling underneath her banks. That is, there was this river started reverberating with the sounds, to hear the replication of your sounds made in her concave shores. Concave shores means hollow banks of the river. And do you now put on your new attire? And now you are putting on your new attire. And do you now cull out a holiday? And do you now select today a holiday that comes? And do you now strew flowers in his way? And you are scattering flowers, the flower petals in his way. When are the flower petals scattered in the way of a person? when he is a very great person or he has achieved something, he is victorious. So, of course, Caesar is victorious, so that is why they are scattering flowers. And but then this Marullus is rebuking them. You are now spreading flowers on his in his way, and he who is in the way of the person who is coming in triumph, but triumph over whom? The triumph over Pompey's blood. Pompey's blood means Pompey's sons. Be gone, get away, run to your houses. Now you run back to your houses, fall upon your knees and kneel down. Pray to the gods to intermit the plague, and pray to the gods to intermit, to delay the plague. Plague is the disease that needs must light on this ingratitude, that must inevitably fall upon the sin of ingratitude. You have shown your ingratitude. I hope the explanation is clear. Okay, in case it is not, you can give in your comments. I have tried to make it easy, every word, every line of the speech. It's a long speech, no doubt. Now let's come to the Flavius speech. Flavius now comes. Go, go, good countrymen. And he is echoing whatever Marullus has said. He's saying, go, go, good countrymen. Now you see the difference between Marullus and Flavius. Marullus was little harsh and abusive. He had called them blocks, stones, worse than senseless things. But here, Flavius addresses them good countrymen, that is, the villagers. And for this fault and for this sin, assemble all the poor men of your sort, that is, collect all the poor men of your kind, draw them to Tiber banks, take them to the banks of the river Tiber, and weep your tears into the channel till the lowest stream do kiss the most exalted shores of all. Shed your tears into the Tiber until the lowest water floods to the level of the highest bank. Then the citizens go, exit citizens. Then Flavius is asking Marullus, see whether their basest metal be not moved. Just check whether their basest metal, whether their basis, that is their crude metal, that is the humble spirit, be not moved, is not affected. They vanish tongue tied in their guiltness. They have all gone away speechless. Go you down that way towards the capital. So Flavius is instructing Marullus to go towards the capital. This way will I, and I will go this way, that is the other way, disrobe the images, that is, strip the statues of Caesar that have been decorated with wreaths. You know what are wreaths? Wreaths are the flowers. They are in a like they are encircled. Um, they are actually they symbolize respect when you are giving respect. So as a mark of respect, the wreaths were used to decorate Caesar's statues. If you do find them decked with ceremonies, if you find them decorated with all these wreaths. Marullus is little hesitant, so he asks him, may we do so? Shall we do so? You know, it is the feast of Lupercal. You know, it is the feast of Lupercal. Now, the feast of Lupercal, that was celebrated on 15th February in honor of the god Lupercus, 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 who is believed to be a protector of flocks and herds. So Flavius, he doesn't object to it. He says it's no matter, it doesn't matter. Let no images be hung with Caesar's trophies. Let no statues of Caesar be decorated. I'll about, I will walk about and drive away the vulgar from the streets. I will drive away the common people, he calls them vulgar, from the streets. So do you too, and you also do the same. Where you perceive them thick, where you find them thickly, that is crowded. These growing feathers plucked from Caesar's wing will make him fly an ordinary pitch. Who else would soar above the views of men and keep us all in servile fearfulness? That is, if we suppress the people's enthusiasm for Caesar, it will be like pulling feathers from a falcon's wing. It will make him fly at a normal height instead of soaring out of sight to treat men like slaves. Okay, here we come to the end of this scene. Okay, thank you. Like, share, and subscribe. And thank you for watching.